to learn from Charles Barkley today?
He just gave us some good life lessons. Just kind of told us about like being a good teammate and caring about the sport that you play and just being all in for it. And when you're giving so much of your life to it, just make sure you do everything you can for it. Just he said he admitted not knowing too much about football, so it was more just kind of him talking like a good word to us.
He looks like a football guy, though, doesn't he?
He said he played for one day. That's what he told us. He said he's not coming back though after that one day.
Was it a surprise that he showed up today? Or did you know it?
No, we didn't know. It was cool seeing him in there. Yeah, it was definitely exciting.
Bryan, looks like you're taking on more of a leadership role this year from what I've seen in the drills and stuff. Is that something you're putting a lot of energy into?
Yeah, I try to. Just, from the people ahead of me who kind of led me when I got in here, and it helped me so much that, if I'm able to help somebody younger than me or somebody who might not know as much as me get to where I am or, past me, like I'll do whatever I can to make that happen.
I'm looking out there, I see you, I see Tyler, I see Peyton Page, a youngster, Trey Williams, Darnell. Man, there's so much depth at that position. What are you seeing out of all these guys?
Everybody has something different that they bring. Everybody has. Darnell's just very consistent, does everything right, all the time. Peyton's a huge freshman. You never see something like that. So, and he's super fast and athletic, and just everybody has their own kind of thing that they're really good at, and some people are good at multiple things. And it's really good to have a group like this. We're able to. We're all really close too, so just bond, and we go up to watch film all the time together, just things like that, hang out outside of football. So we're all just a really tight-knit group, and it's going to be a fun year.
Speaking of hanging out outside of football, you and DJ still roommates?
Yep.
I guess. Do you guys ever, sit there at night and say, hey, this is our year? Like DJ watched last year, you were learning, you both had your moments, but do you ever sit there and go, okay, this is our time?
I mean, I wouldn't say exactly those words, but we kind of, take it on like, it's going to be a good year for both of us, we think. And we're with Tyler and RJ Mickens. Tyler Venables are also our roommates. We just moved in yesterday to our new spot. So, us four talk about, football a lot when we leave. We watch film together outside of football, the defensive guys.
But is there anything you take from DJ watching film, like pick his brain? What does the quarterback see? What is he looking for?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times he tells me, and he asks me too, what's going on plays and stuff. So it's good to have, his insight. He knows the whole offense. So if I have any questions about if I show him film and I wonder what's going on, he can always just tell me, and it helps a lot. So, yep.
What's the biggest difference that you see in him now versus when you guys were rooming a year ago?
As a person or on the field?
Both.
On the field, I see him as, much more of a leader. He's kind of running that offense right now, and, it's really cool to see. It's exciting. He, came in as 18-year-olds right out of high school and, didn't know what we were doing, just came in here just kind of doing whatever. And now, just to see him, really take on a leadership role and run that offense as well as he's doing, it's awesome to see. Off the field, we've just gotten a lot closer. So we're just, we're able to open up to each other more, and, we just became really good friends. So.
Coach Winnie was just saying that last year you were just a great athlete. Now you're adding all the proper techniques and all the things that go with doing it the right way. What kind of strides do you feel like you've made from your freshman year to now heading into your sophomore?
Just with my football technique, I didn't really know, like you said, much of what I was doing, this whole defense and learning everything, techniques. Run technique and just all kinds of things that you never think of coming out of high school. And when you get here, you need to know them all just because how different the game is. So I'm just kind of putting that all together now and learning a bunch of new stuff still to this day. So.
Do you feel like the defensive line that came before you kind of set a standard that you guys, this group, is trying to live up to, maybe make their own name in the same way that the Power Rangers did a couple years back?
Yeah, we're definitely trying to make our own name, but just having them as a, kind of like an older brother kind of deal, just, what they did for this program and the D-line was awesome, and it was super cool watching them. And people on this team who got to play with them have kind of carried on their traditions just with, being good leaders and things like that. We just kind of passed everything down to all of us, and, we just try to keep it up.
Bryan, there's obviously a lot of hype around this entire unit. How do you guys handle that, managing expectations when it's day 3 of fall camp? You got a lot of work to do.
We just stay inside, inside out, all of us. We just we're working right now. We're not really listening to all the outside noise. We're just trying to, stay together as a group and just work on everything we need to be ready for our first game.
In your opinion, how good can this group be?
As good as it wants to be, We just got to put in the work, and the sky's the limit for us.
How motivating is game 1? Sometimes game 1 can be against Troy or against La Tech or something like that, but game 1's against Georgia. It's the top 5 battle the world's going to watch.
Yeah. Here, every game we look at as a huge game. Of course, Georgia's a great opponent, and, it's going to be a big game. Everyone's looking forward to it. But you just look at it as another game. They're going to be a really, really tough opponent, and they have really good players, and it's going to be a tough battle, but just another game for us.
Does it change anything about how you work in preseason camp at all, knowing that there's no margin for error right off the bat?
Every preseason camp, there's no margin for error. You got week in and week out. This is all just getting everything down. We need to lay the framework for this season, and so that's every year. Last year for me and this year, it's the same thing. Nothing's changed up in our camp. We're just getting ready for the season.
You talked about technique you worked on. Was there anything in particular? Reading and reacting in terms of certain situations, or is it hand technique? What types of stuff are you looking at and saying that really need to help?
It was, for me, mostly it was just my run game technique I needed to work on. From going against 200-300 pounders, double teaming you is a big difference from high school. So I needed to get my footwork down, my hands, my eyes, everything just had to get better for how fast and more physical this game is.
Yeah. So when you get on the field here for the first day of fall camp, do you notice you're able to get between guys, or are you able to kind of get off the ball easier? I guess how does that work actually translate?
It just slows down for me. The game just slows down for me. I'm able to read backfield sets better. I'm kind of able to read what's going to come at me before it even happens, and that kind of slows everything down for me. It just makes things. It makes me be able to play faster. I'm not actually faster, but it kind of lets me play faster just because I'm more free.
Bryan, how would you compare the depth of your unit this year compared to what it was last season at times?
We had a bunch of stuff going on last year. Yeah, injuries and sicknesses and all kinds of things. So. As long as everybody can stay healthy, we have all the depth we need. We have a ton of really good players in our D-line room, D-end and D-tackle, so it'll be perfect.
Bryan, you talked about you and DJ coming in here last year as 18-year-olds, not really knowing too much, but watching you earlier, it seemed like you were a pretty vocal leader out there with your teammates. What's your progression there as a leader in the locker room been like for just 1 year?
It's been big from last year to now. Coming in, I'm just quiet, kind of in the back watching, learning. And now kind of taking on a leadership role this year, just like I said, just trying to help anybody that I can who needs it. And if I know something more than them, just helping them. And even like people like TD, he can help me with some stuff. I help him with some stuff. Just we're able to go back and forth together and kind of work off each other.